Joining me here on this week's episode of Cricket Connected, we've got a debutant joining us all the way from Sydney. Michael Slater, welcome to the show. 1.35 billion Indians have gotten excited because dates for this year's Indian Premier League were announced last week. It just lifted up spirits in the entire country. Have you saved the date? The 19th of September, and it promises to be perhaps the most iconic season in the IPL's history. The cricketing universe is looking forward to this big bang, the 13th Indian Premier League. Ashubha, there's been anticipation for all these months for so many cricketers. You know, what's the feeler like in the fraternity now that the IPL's announced the dates are out?
I mean, it's a great feeling. I mean, not only for all the cricketers, and you just said fraternity. I said it's a great thing for the nation. Or I would say for world. You know, IPL is one of the top leagues in the world, and when these kind of things start, so, you know, you always feel good.
For all the players, I mean, you'll be in the UAE, whatever the protocols are, whatever the bubble, I'm sure you're excited. You're going to be excited, but everyone will have to follow every single protocol, right?
And I'm sure, and I hope everybody does. You know, we have seen one incident of Jofra Archer, whatever happened. So we are hoping that those kind of incidents doesn't take part, because see, there you were talking about bilateral series and teams staying at the ground. You know, either you talk about Southampton or Old Trafford, there are hotels at the ground. But in IPL, that's not the case. Yeah. So all the players should support BCCI, should support IPL to organizing things better. You know, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a hell of a job to just organize that tournament, because there you are talking about 8 teams. Yes, you are not going. The good thing is, Jatin, that you are not going to take the flight. You know, everything by road. So there you are talking about 3 grounds, and UAE, they have a lovely setup. We have seen that in the past, but still they don't have as many grounds for practice as India will have or Australia will have. So everything will be very close. So everybody should really help the authorities. So I'm sure it will be a great tournament again, what everybody is hoping for. But we should be careful and we should play our part for sure.
Slats, another very interesting thing that came out of Australia was David Warner's recent statement. And for all practicality, it's just David Warner for now. It might just be a sentiment echoed by maybe many other cricketers that he'd probably have to evaluate moving forward the cricketing tours with the quarantine period, with being away from the family, with all the threats.
Well, I think it's a sentiment from a lot of guys who have travelled a lot and continue to look at their future, and it does involve a lot of travel, and certainly that will be the case for Dave. But I think you start to reassess things as you get a little bit older, and other players, you know, there are going to be those who are travelling in whatever work capacity. When they start to look at lockdown for 2 weeks, lockdown for 2 weeks when they get home, that's a month that is taken up, just mandatory lockdown. So it becomes a little different to travel and do what you do best. But, you know, I'm sure these guys will do everything to get there. They understand what's important to them, and Dave Warner will be fine.
Slats, one of the biggest subplots of this IPL for all Indian fans and maybe fans the world over will be the return of MSD in action.
I just love him. He's the coolest guy, the coolest dude going around. And last year, you knew when he came onto the field because the crowd went ballistic. You knew when Virat came out, you knew when MSD came out, and you knew when Sachin came out for Mumbai and he was just assistant coach. But I kept going up to MSD after that. I'd come out after he'd gone out, and the roar of the crowd, and I kept tapping him going, MS, did you hear the roar of the crowd when I walked out? He'd just look at me and go, oh, it was for you, was it? No, but he is a legend. Yeah. I love the way he still plays. He seems to get better with age, and he's the coolest guy, I think, on the cricket field.
Well, we're hearing reports that CSK are perhaps going to be the first team to reach the UAE, start their camp. And it's only fair, MS, leading from the front, because bound to be a bit rusty when you return to action after more than a year of being away.
Yeah, and that's the difficulty with the aged player, I suppose, and the fact that they're not involved in all other forms of the game. So therefore, you know, the player who's playing regularly is never really out of touch. But when you have a long absence from playing, it's worth their while getting there early so he can have a lot of net time and really start to get the feel and get his cricket fitness up as well. That training almost daily, he needs to get the miles in the tank. So I think it's a smart move. And it gets harder as you get older to pick up the bat after a long layoff.
Ashubha, my next question to you is coming on behalf of all the fans. I know you've sort of made your sentiment and understanding clear. In regards to his international future, one of the hottest topics that always remains in the country, the World T20 is now postponed to next year. So with regards to that, the importance of maybe this IPL?
See, as far as MS Dhoni's international career, I don't see so this IPL has anything to do with it. If you are a selector, you are captain, you are coach, and MS Dhoni, the most important thing, if he's ready to play, like he will be my number one name on the list, right? But for as much as I know MS Dhoni, I think he has played his last game for India happily. Maybe he has not announced his retirement, but I don't see MS Dhoni coming back and playing again for India. If he does, it will be a great thing for Indian team. I still feel the guy who everybody was thinking is replacement, he is serving water from last 6-7 months. His name is Rishabh Pant. So India is still in that jigsaw puzzle that KL Rahul keeping wickets, batting at 5, not playing in test matches, KL Rahul. Then you have someone like Sanju Samson came out of the blue and opened in T20 game in New Zealand early this year, but Rishabh Pant was serving water. And see, for MS Dhoni, there is always a spot. If I am captain, if I am chairman selection committee, if he is ready to play, I will pick him. There's no doubt about it. MS Dhoni has nothing to prove. And we all discuss these things as a media people, you can say, and everybody, because he has not announced his retirement.
Yeah.
So that's where maybe I think he will take a call and only he can tell what's in his head. But for me, MS Dhoni's game never came down. We have discussed earlier this also that till the last game he played, India had hope to reach the World Cup final till the time MS Dhoni was there. The minute he got run out, everybody's hopes were gone. So it shows where his game was even that time. You know, he knows how to run the team. He knows how to push youngsters forward. All those things I don't need to repeat again and again, but I don't think that this IPL makes any difference in MS Dhoni's stature, his aura as a player, and I don't think so. A tournament like IPL should be MS Dhoni's selection criteria.
Well, friendships are built on trust, and so is the relationship between a captain and a coach. For Indian cricket, the story of this week is the Virat Kohli-Ravi Shastri partnership. Two similar, boisterous personalities who came together this week 3 years ago to take Indian cricket in the right direction. Slats, let me get your perspective. You saw in Australia perhaps one of the highest point of this Virat Kohli-Ravi Shastri partnership. You know, two very boisterous, similar personalities. What for you really clicks? How do you see this chemistry?
Well, they're obviously not rivalry. You know, there's no trying to be the top dog there. And I think I look at Justin Langer and Tim Payne, and the recent success Australia have had is because that relationship is a friendship, but they're able to hear each other and their points of view, and one's not trying to dictate the other. And I think both Ravi and Virat, they need to be able to listen and not fully react if they don't agree. And Ravi and Virat probably challenge each other enough, but there's such respect between them that it works.
Did you see the side of their personality? You know, I mean, they're always wearing their hearts on their sleeve. Did you see that trickle through the entire Indian team when they were taking on the Aussies?
Yeah, and you're not going to, if Ravi's nodding his head and Virat's speaking and vice versa, the rest of them, even if they don't agree, are going to go, yes, we're going to do that. So heart in your sleeve, both of them, because I've worked with Ravi for so long in the commentary box. So I've got to know Ravi, and he was one of my great mates when we worked together. And yeah, he's a big personality, but obviously there's subtle differences and allows them to really work well together. But it's been a great, great synergy and a great relationship. And I think it's helped Indian cricket tenfold.
Ajba, you've been there. You saw it, you know, at the start, this partnership. What for you is the standout factor in this relationship? And what's been the highest point in this partnership career so far?
See, coach and captain, they have to work hand in hand. You know, your number one preference is the team. There's no doubt about it. And yes, when you spend 8-9 months together, there are sometimes differences, you know, like playing 11, which wicket selection, all those kind of things. But that's a part and parcel of the job. And trust is the main thing. For me, coach, captain, or players, you know, if you trust each other, you are going to go miles. There's no doubt about it. You know, and they both of them are similar kind of personalities also, Jatin. You know, it's not that all the time they agree on things. But few things you have to let it go. It's not like the captain is the last decision maker or coach is the last decision maker. There's so many times you will hear so many theories. Somebody will say captain should be the last say. Somebody will say coach should be the last say. For me, it has to be 50-50 partnership. In Australia, for me, the standout thing was the way team was playing, the way team was fighting. See, Virat Kohli is a great competitor. Everybody knows that. and he just tries to do that thing with opposition. He's always just jumping on opposition head. He's more happy than Mohammad Shami and Bumrah when they pick a wicket. So that's his personality. And Ravi Shastri is also same, like Michael Slater rightly mentioned. He was like that even in commentary box. So trust is the main thing. If let's say there's a Michael Slater sitting, Mark Taylor sitting, and they are saying something against India, Ravi Shastri will be the first one to jump on them. They have experienced that. But that's the way he is in real life also.
Shattering records on the internet, social media to be precise, was the same name who's usually breaking records on the field. Our Indian captain, Virat Kohli, who crossed the 70 million follower mark on Instagram. King Kohli is now the Insta King too. 70 million and counting. Slats, first things first. There is only one man who can give Virat Kohli competition, but he refuses to come on social media. Can you try and convince Ashish Nehra?
Ashish, you're like Ricky Ponting. He didn't sign up until this year, and we got him over the line. So even you can join Instagram. But the thing is, your popularity in India, within a month, you'll have 5 million followers.
Never say never. I'm not saying I will not come on social media. Who knows? Maybe in years to come, but I might be on social media.
Breaking news. You heard it first here on Cricket Connected. Ashish Nehra is still open to social media. Never say never. But just come into this, 70 million. Now, stats, I mean, yes, of course, population is on his side, but no one's got to this mark. Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar Jr., Virat Kohli. He's gone past the likes of LeBron James.
I mean, he's an influencer, obviously, but he's influencing in such a professional manner and such a positive manner that I can't say any greater things about it. I've just got the highest praise for Virat.